Morning, everyone. I hope this is working. Doing it a bit different today. This is the walkthrough of the Mymaths tasks. Now, slightly different this week. Yesterday's lesson was about finding area under the curve using the trapezium rule. Now, unfortunately, on Mymaths, that doesn't exist unless you go into the A-level unit, which, of course, I don't want you to do because it's a little too difficult. So we're just going to do some basic area trapezium work on Mymaths, but then also we're going to do some distance, speed, time work on Mymaths because most of the questions on the GCSE paper would relate to that. So the first thing you'll see on Mymaths is very basic, find the area of these three trapeziums, right? So as we know, we'll add up the parallel sides, half it, times by the height between them. Add up the parallel sides, half it, and multiply by the distance between them, which we call the height, right? It says here an appropriate degree of accuracy. So let's just go for 1 decimal place. The one that will throw you a little is this one here, where we have 4 numbers instead of 3. So they're the parallel sides, so we're going to add them up and half it. Then you have to determine, do I multiply by this or this? Of course, it's the perpendicular distance between them. So I don't need that one. I'll use this one, right? I'm just going to go shut the door. Right, on to the next one. So a bit more of an application question here. Right, it says we're going to paint a wall of a cinema, basically. So we need to work out the area that needs to be painted. So I've got a trapezium here. Add up the parallel sides, half it, times by the distance between them. I've got a trapezium here. Add up the parallel sides. Don't forget, this will be 12, or whatever your number is. Half it, times by the distance between them. And then this bit in the middle here is just a rectangle. So I'll just do length times width. Get your 3 areas, add them all up, and that will give you the total area. Easy peasy. It then says, paint costs £8 for a tin, which covers 15 meters squared. How much will it cost to paint? So once you get this answer, divide it by 15, or whatever your number is there, and that will give you the number of tins that you need. Now I'm just going to make something up, all right? Let's say my answer came out as 8.6. Well, you can't buy 0.6 of a tin, so I would need 9 tins. I'm going to have to round that up. I'm going to have 9 tins. Even if it was 8.2, I'd still have to round it up. I'd need 9 tins, and then I'll multiply that by the cost, right? So that's not too difficult. That's nice and easy. Shouldn't take you more than 10, 15 minutes tops. Your other task then is a distance, speed, time task, which will also be one of your manga tasks later in the week. Again, because the trapezium rule question on the GCSE is generally always related to distance, speed, and time. So I thought we'd have a little refresher. So here's your DST triangle. If you want the distance, you do speed times time. If you want the time, you do distance divided by speed. And if you want the speed, you do distance divided by time. And generally, it's not too easy. The way they'll try and trip you up here and give you a problem is by giving you, for example, the time in minutes, but you need to work out the speed in miles per hour. So it'll be a unit conversion thing. The first one seemed pretty self-explanatory. Miles per hour. I've got my miles, I've got my hours, so I'm just going to chuck those numbers into that formula. Meters per second. I've got my meters, I've got my seconds, I'll just chuck my numbers into that formula. Kilometers per hour, again, it's in kilometers and hours, just bang the numbers in. The next one, looking at distance this time, so I'm going to multiply these. They want it in miles. My speed is in miles per hour, and my time is in hours, so there's nothing to worry about there. This is the first one where you would get tripped up, okay? I'm going 6 meters per second for 2 minutes, and I'm on my distance in meters. So you need to convert that 2 minutes into seconds, which is obviously 120 seconds, and use that number to get the distance. Similarly for this one, I'm on my distance in kilometers. I'm going 40 kilometers per hour, but I'm only going for 15 minutes. So I've got to convert that 15 minutes into hours, right? Now you all know that 15 minutes is a quarter of an hour. So you're going to put it in the calculator as 0.25. But if you didn't, if you have to convert minutes into hours, you would do 15 divided by 60. And you can double check that comes out as 0.25, which it does. This one, working out the time now, so that's distance divided by speed. I've got meters per second. They want the time in seconds, so I just divide the numbers. I've got miles per hours. They want it in hours, just divide them. I've got kilometers per hour. They want it in hours, just divide them. Okay, so that's not too tricky there. Just be careful pressing your buttons. And then the last thing on my maths for this week. A car travels 300 miles in 2 hours and 30 minutes. Work out its average speed, right? So speed is distance there divided by time. And of course, the big misconception, what most kids get wrong on this, they'll put this into the calculator as 2.30, which is obviously wrong, okay? 30 minutes is half an hour, so you have to put that in the calculator as 2.5. Even though it might not feel right or look right, 2 hours and 30 minutes in the calculator is 2.5. We have to do a similar strategy here to put 3 hours and 20 minutes in. Okay, if you're going to do it wrong, you'll do 3.20. That is wrong. That is not 3 hours and 20 minutes. 20 minutes is a third of an hour. So you would have to put in the calculator 3 1/3. Okay, 20 minutes is a third of an hour. 20 divided by 60. So that's how you put it in the calculator. And then the very last question, they give us a distance in kilometers and they give us an average speed, and we need to know how long does it take him. So we're going to get our answer there in hours, okay? Then he does a return journey with a different speed. Now the distance is the same, but it's a different speed. So obviously it will take a different time, right? So you need to work out both times because you need the average speed for the whole journey. And to work out the average speed for the whole journey, it's the total distance, which would be 2 lots of them because he goes there and comes back, divided by the total time. So you work out the time by dividing these for the first part. You work out the time by dividing these for the second part. Add that up. That gives you the total time. And then you'll be able to work out the average speed, okay? So if he's going 40 kilometers per hour there and 24 kilometers per hour on the way back, the average speed is going to be somewhere between these two numbers, isn't it, right? So if yours comes out as 80 kilometers per hour, you've got it wrong. Go back and double check it. And that's your Mymaths walkthrough for this week. Get a green on both of these, please. You'll get a week off Mymaths for half term. Hope everybody's okay, and I will see you soon. Mr. T out.